Hi, I'm just taking a look at my head-to-head matchup this week. I looked at the forecast earlier in the week and things were not looking good. But my opponents had some bad luck this week and I'm still in it going into the last day. And so I just thought I'd show you what that looked like. So on day one here, um, this is how much I lost by. My team didn't perform as well as I forecast, but his team was way worse than what I'd forecast. So even though I lost that day, it wasn't terrible. Um, my forecast was spot on. The second day, his team was a little bit better than I forecast. It's okay. But I still knew I was like likely going to lose that day, maybe. When things started to look up for me was this day here. So my team performed slightly better, but his team performed much worse. So this is how much badly they performed compared to the forecast. And like, so this is kind of the point differential. So where I'd lost these first 2 days, I was projected to lose this day and I didn't. I won it. So that's great. I also lost the next day, but again, this is projected. My forecast is pretty good, but you'll notice that this bar is way shorter than where I drew this blue line. So this is where his actual point score was. And so yeah, I lost. That's bad. So what? Wasn't by as much as I thought. And then when I put myself back in it this week, was this day here. So yeah, I forecast things pretty spot on for my team. And I knew I was going to win this day, but his team again underperformed, right? And so actually, for me, that was a huge win, and we are basically neck and neck going into today. So this day here, we were neck and neck. Going into the end of the week, I lost again today. Could have been way worse. His team had should have been better on the court. So actually, he's maybe like 50 or 60 points ahead of me going into the last day, which I might win. I don't know. He's picked up two extra players, so he's probably close up here forecast wise now. So it's anyone's game tomorrow. It's kind of exciting. It's nice to go down to the game. Like I've been either well ahead or well behind. I haven't had a nail biter in a while. It will all go down to who plays, like which players have good games tomorrow. And with like the same number of players, plus like you can have someone who have a really good game, drop 100 points. It's anyone's tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. Um, yeah, and I'll just show you what the cumulative forecast looked like. So I was really, really down if I look at my cumulative forecast. Yeah, I never expected to be so close this week. So the dash lines are kind of like if you don't make any changes to your fantasy roster, and the blue lines, sorry, my red lines, that's my team. Dashed is no changes, solid is changes. Dashed is no changes for my opponent in blue, solid is changes in blue. And so I can see here, actually, my changes haven't made a huge difference this week, which is kind of annoying forecast wise, but some of that's just been managing injuries and swapping injuries around or having people not play back to backs when I expected them to. I've had two Washington players who were meant to play back to back who didn't for me. Um, and yeah, you can see here that the forecast said going into this end of the week, like almost 3,000 points were possible for Ben on the cards this week if his team had performed. He started off in a really strong point, 2,500, no changes at all. And I'm looking at a total of 2,500. So there's 500 points different in this. But his team has just not performed this week. He's had late minutes, late scratches, injuries, illnesses, all sorts. And so I'm still in it. Yeah. Um, my point scores actually are closer to, yeah, this is about spot on for me. And he is, we're just a little bit above here. So he's underperforming if he'd had no changes this week. That's how badly it's going for him. Um, so nothing I'm doing is particularly special this week, but he's just having a really bad week fantasy wise. And so yeah, I might win tomorrow, I might not. We'll see. Um, I won the previous week as the top team, so it's really nice. I'm fairly confident as long as I win one or two more games the rest of the season, then I'm going to go into um, the finals in our league. The question is whether I'm number one seed or number two seed. Don't know. We'll have to see. Um, I should show you super briefly. What am I doing? I'll show you super briefly what the schedule looks like as well. So I tried to do smart things this week, and sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. So the only back-to-back here was a Clippers. So I picked Collins up here on the Friday, knowing that he would also play for me on the Sunday. Most teams are only playing two games in this window, and then he would play the back-to-back on the Monday. And he's been healthy, so that should be the case. So that looks nice. Um, I also picked up a Memphis player here. Um, so I picked up Cedric Coward for a back-to-back here with the knowledge I could drop him and pick someone up here to get as many players on court as I could. I was hoping if I was up, which I'm not, I could hold him and have him play on the Monday. So that's a bit of a shame. That's okay. Um, Going into early next week, there's only a back-to-back with Indiana and a back-to-back with Philly. Otherwise, everyone is playing like 0 or 1 game in this first window. Um, if you look at this window, it's like 2 or 3 games. And so, oh, sorry, 1 or 2 games. Yeah. And so other back-to-backs you could look at if you're looking over this 3-day window, you could have Boston, Denver, who else? Milwaukee. So knowing that, I was flipping between do I pick up a Boston or a Milwaukee player today, and I picked up Bobby Portis, who's benefiting from some of Giannis's minutes at the moment. Um, so I picked him up today, knowing he'd play a back-to-back here. So yeah, there's a few others. Knicks, I didn't want a Knicks player because I've already got two Knicks players. There's no one in OKC floating around a pool worth picking up. So yeah, and I haven't thought about the end of the week yet. That's too far away. Um, Actually, my plot's a bit short, but I'm missing the last day here. Apologies. But yeah, hopefully things are going well with your fantasy team. Hopefully your opponent's having as much bad luck this week as my opponent. Um, and yeah, good luck with your fantasy basketball.